Back over here to Ptouch. All right, here's my label I've been working with. Now what I want to do is I want to merge this. So I want to go to, give me just a second to find it, database. I go to File, Database, scroll down to Database, and it says Connect. That's what I want to do. I want to connect with a database. And it brings up this, and I browse.
All right.
And I go to the desktop. And there it is right there. That's the file I want to connect with on the desktop.
Right.
So I click on that file and then I say next. Now, this is where the magic happens, right here. Here's my spreadsheet and there's my label. All of the fields that I've created for that label are listed right over here. And all I have to do is link the field with the report from the database. The very first one says TBW Farms LLC. That's a title. I don't need to link it to anything. But the first one says first. I go and I click on none that's next to first over here, and I get a pull down. Grab that pull down, and notice there are all of the fields from my spreadsheet right over here. And the one I'm looking for is first name. So I go tap on first name and link it there. Then I go to the last field over here. Click on that and a pull down appears. Notice how it's highlighted over here. I go down to last name and click on that. The picker ID, I click on it and the picker ID shows up, and I go to my list and I go down to ID. There it is. Oops, not SSN, ID. Wrong thing. I got finger happy there. All right, and the barcode 6, the same thing. I click on it and it's also the ID. So I just simply link it to ID as well. And then I go, okay. Now, let's see if I can maximize this. Here's my spreadsheet that it's linked to. All right. Pull that down and you can see the entire badge. Now, if you go into your phone, I'm just going to print off this badge now. So I'm going to go Control Print. I'm just going to print this one badge. Now, if you take your phone and scan that, that should show up as that person. So you would have to log in on your phone.
I see.
I don't have mine on my phone.
Yeah, we don't need. Yeah, I don't either.
That's it. And then you can save this, and it's linked to that file.
Now I want to change this. I want to pull this over to the middle here.
Okay. Just tap on it and drag it over.
And now I got to save it, right?
Yeah. Just go Control S.
Okay. Or you can go up here.
Or you can go File, Save.
Okay.
All right. Now, I have to explain this to you. This file is now linked to that file. So when you go in and you get all of your pickers listed, all right, you save the name of the pickers on the list and you export it. All of them with null buckets or 0 buckets or whatever you do. You get all of your pickers in there and you're ready to print name badges for all of your pickers. You have to go back to File, because what it'll do every time you open it now is it will link to that file, that spreadsheet that we put on the desktop. So when you go in the next time and you enter all of that information on Monday, you're ready to get the picker set up, you're going to have to tell it to link to whatever file you export with all of that new information in it. Okay? Because what it'll do is it'll come right back to this file, and this is all you'll have is these 5 names.
You need to do that every time then.
Can't you just resave that file on the desktop?
You can.
And then just
You can actually go back when you enter all of that new data. You can go back and save the file as picker data, CSV, or CSV. Instead of it having that name, bucket entries, blah 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 blah, you can change the name of the file and just call it pickerdata.csv. Save it to the desktop. Then anytime you make changes, you add pickers or anything like that to the group, resave that file as the same file name, and every time you open this up, it'll include the new people on the list. So it'll link to that new data file.
And it has to be saved under CSV?
CSV, yeah. Has to be a CSV file. And that's what bucket load exports. So you don't have to change that. It automatically exports a CSV file every time. So when you make the changes in bucket load and then you want to save that file and always come back to that file, you simply say, call it picker data, save it on the desktop or wherever you want to keep it, and you can always get to it, and it'll automatically update this and then you simply print out the new badges.
Okay. All right.
And you can tell it when you want it to print. You go to Control P, and it brings up the print dialog. Wait a minute. You can tell it which badges you want it to print. So if you have new badges, you can simply go down to print from this one to this one.
Or you can select them.
Yeah, just select them. Just check
Okay.
them off.
All
And
right.
say print selected.
Okay.
And it'll do that. So you don't end up with 10 of these. Every time you print, you get one for
Yeah.
Teresa, you know. Rather
Okay.
than do that, here's what you get.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
We'll see how it works this year. Missy's got to enter our rules. If you lose your badge, she's gonna make 'em
Yeah, it's going
pay.
to cost you $5. Yeah.
I don't know if that'll
I
work.
already told Missy, I don't know if she shared this with you, but if you're starting on Monday,
Uh-huh.
I can be here Monday morning if you need me to be here.
Ah.
It's not a problem. I'll be glad to come down and help. That way, if you get stuck on something, you know, I'll be available.
He's going to bring about, I think, 10 pickers. You
Oh,
know.
be scared.
So,
Even if you stumble through it, it won't take you long.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Do I have to repurchase this again? How do I do that?
No.
Okay.
Let's get you out of this. I am so unused to
I gotta
these
get
little
there. Thank
phones.
you.